Hi class, today we're going to talk about Chapter 4, Pedestal, Loom, and Auction Block. This covers from 1800 to 1860, and in this chapter we look at four basic groups of women, two in the north and two in the south. In both regions we have one group, the more upper class woman, who fulfills an ideal of true womanhood that is developed and refined in this era more than it had been previously. The second group in each region are the working class women, or the slaves, who basically allow those upper class women to have their true womanhood lifestyle. So how do we define true womanhood in the early 19th century? One historian laid out four basic principles that were the cornerstones of the true womanhood ideal. These are domesticity, submission, piety, and purity. So what do each of these mean? Domesticity is motherhood and housekeeping all rolled into one. It's the idea that the woman has a sphere within the home, that she is mistress of that sphere to a certain extent, and that it's her responsibility to make her home a wonderful, comforting oasis from the world, a sanctuary from all of the tensions and pressures that the rest of her family experiences when they have to leave the home. The next aspect is submission. So even though the woman is mistress of the home, her husband is the master, and so she has to bow to his will in all things. At this point, most women still do not have the right, if they are married, to own their own property. That's just one aspect of it. They don't have the vote, and they are supposed to defer to their husbands in any public aspect and in most private aspects. The male is the head of the household, and the woman follows his will. The third aspect is piety. A true woman is expected to be very spiritual, very religious, and very active in her church. In some ways, her piety allows her somewhat of an escape from the domesticity aspect. As a participant in a church, she might be able to organize charitable events or charitable organizations that take her outside of her own home, but still in a very feminine and caregiving sort of way. The fourth aspect of true womanhood is purity. A woman was not supposed to have sex other than with her husband, and she was not supposed to have any sexual desire either. This was seen as extremely unfeminine. So combined, domesticity, submission, piety, and purity make the true woman. If a woman is lacking on any of these, she is outside the boundaries of what women are allowed to do. And so, prostitutes, not true women, women who are not submissive to their husbands, not true women, and also women who have to work, who have to labor in a way outside of the domestic realm. They also fall outside this boundary of true womanhood. In this ideal of true womanhood that arises in the early 19th century, we see the roots of our own gender stereotypes that we're still struggling with today. This is some of the baggage that we still have to work through. Different sexual expectations for men and women, different expectations about who should perform domestic chores or who should do all of the work, who should earn all of the income, that is. And there has always been tension between the idea of what a woman should do and the reality of what women really are doing. This tension has caused problems for every generation since they first came up with these ideas. And so I want you to think about what true womanhood is today and how we should work with that stereotype or how we should work to overturn it. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to reading your discussions this week.